Theodore Roosevelt once said, "The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, who at best, if he wins, knows the thrills of high achievement, and if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly."
I find that if you fill your day and your mind with productive things, the negative things have no space.
And we're back. Welcome to Season 2 of Coaching Chronicles, the men and women in the arena. If you notice, we took a little bit of a break between Season 1 and Season 2 because I wanted to make sure that we start Season 2 with a bang. In our very, very first episode, it took me a long time to convince this person to agree to come and guest here at our podcast. Our guest today is an amazing alumni awardee of Merinol College for her work in the Merinol Adult Education Program. And recently, she just gained the very prestigious award of International Salon of the Year of Toni&Guy from the UK, of the 700 plus salons all over the world. Toni&Guy Philippines, Toni&Guy Aura Salon was named the Global Salon of the Year. I am referring to none other than my better half, Mrs. Cherry Reyes. Cherry, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for finally agreeing to come and guest here.
Finally, you convinced me. Panakipbutas lang yata. Walang mahanap yata na guest.
Of course not. We've been talking about this for a long time. What made you finally decide to agree to come here?
Because you forced me. I didn't want to guess.
Yes, to our audience, I really wanted to have a lot more female CEOs, business owners, and executives in our podcast because, as you know, Season 1, we had predominantly male guests. So I thought for Season 2, we wanted to get another perspective. And I couldn't think of anyone better than our current guest. So Cherry, please, the way we start our podcast is by just telling us a little bit of your story. How did you get here? Toni&Guy just celebrated our 22nd year, 22nd anniversary, 22 years in the business, which is in the salon industry. That's a long time. But maybe the audience is interested.
Ang habang kwento. Mahabang kwento to. Baka hindi kasha yung mo.
We have a lot of time.
So, how did I start? Of course, everybody knows I got pregnant early. Binuntis ako kasi, pinikot ako.
Ako yun.
So, I had to stop school and while waiting, I studied how to cut hair. Kasi maarte ako before. Maarte talaga ako dad. And so, when I graduated, I said, hobby lang yung hairdressing because like, how many years ago? Maybe that was probably 40 years ago. You were called a beautician at that time. So I felt, hindi ata masyadong social yung beautician. So I really wanted to work kung saan yung field ko, kung saan ako nag-graduate, which is advertising. So I applied, but I declared that I had a baby. So syempre, hindi ako priority. Mas priority nila single, ganyan. Kasi advertising daw, you have to take out clients at that time, etc., etc. So, So, nahirapan ako to find a job. So, I said, maybe calling ko talaga is hairdressing, to go back to hairdressing. So yun, nagano ako. I went back to hairdressing. My aunt at that time had during college pala, My aunt had a salon. Kaya rin ako nung napunta sa the aunt of Chot had a salon.
A
in
neighborhood
Katipunan.
salon. Yeah.
Katipunan. So all my clients there were my Ateneo batchmates. Talaga na-experimentohan ko yung buhok nila, ginupit ko yung mga tenga nila, binasa ko sila nung sinashampoo. So doon talaga ako nag-experiment. And all the tawag nila doon, the chismis station, kasi lahat ng chismis doon nangyayari. And so when I graduated, I wanted a different career, and then I found what's this? Nag-add ang James Cooper, ganyan, that they were going to put a branch in Shaw Boulevard. So I applied. Sa hairdressing, pinagkakaguluhan ka. Sulat ko, graduate of Ateneo, Marinol, ganyan. Tapos nag-a-apply ako to be a hairdresser. At the time, just an assistant because I felt I wasn't that good yet. So talagang, they accepted me at once. So I trained in James Cooper. And then I saw the sales of the salon. Wow! Sabi ko, pwede pala kumita yung salon ng this much. So I said, I think I want to put the James Cooper salon. So I did. I did put a James Cooper salon in Katipunan. But then at that time, I think yung market ng James Cooper was high-end. So medyo hindi kami nag-click. So we saw the David Salon in Mega Mall. So I saw the price of David Salon na, uy, okay to ah. So we converted to David Salon, and then that started. So I started David Salon. We were maybe around 10 or 12 years as a David Salon. And then when I was in David,
By started, you mean started making money, becoming profitable?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
and so, ano na ba nangyari? So, David Salon,
12 years,
and
yeah.
then, while I was in David Salon, I was a trainer. And of course, as a trainer also, you want to look for people who would train you. So I will always go, Toni&Guy at the time was the Harvard of hairdressing. 40 years ago, it was very expensive to travel. So I just look at their website and check kung ano yung their latest collections, their latest techniques. And then I saw their franchising. So I applied.
Franchising opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dun sa ano nila.
Their
So,
website, yeah.
I applied. And then napunta pala sa US yon. So, inano ako sa UK. Ni-refer ako sa UK. And so, sa UK, they sent me all the requirements for the application. Filled it out, everything. Sent it to UK. And tagal-tagal, hindi sumasagot. So, until my friend told me na, you call them up and
Follow up.
show them that you're very interested. Sabi ko, okay, I'll take your advice. So, I called Toni&Guy, and they said they didn't receive the application form and the requirements. So, they asked me to fax it. Fax pa at that time, no? Hindi pa. Hindi pa uso yung i-email mo yung...
A lot of people don't even know what a fax machine is.
Yeah. So, finax namin, dami-daming ko. Documents, so finax lahat. Finax. And they nag-set sila na appointment for our interview in London. So, we went. Chot and I flew to London for that interview. And during that interview, sabi ni Chot, huwag kang magsasalita, ha?
Don't react.
Don't react. Sabi niya, ako lahat magne-negotiate. Sabi ko, okay. And, tapos yun, nag-negotiate kami. Said, I needed to take a trade test. Because, to find out how much training I need. So, after the
It was a
interview,
2-day test,
interview,
right? Yeah.
Okay, so they set me na an interview. Umalis na kami. Tapos na-pick yung bag ko. In the tube station in Covent Garden. Wow. Talagang all our money was with me. at that time. So talaga nanghihina ako, hindi ko alam kung anong gagawin namin. Dahil lahat ng pera ko, ang naiwan lang sa amin, ayan na, na-divert na yung kwento.
Okay lang yan. That's a,
Naiwan lang sa akin was one credit card. Credit card lang ni Chot ang naiwan. And we didn't know how to make a cash advance. Hindi naman namin alam yung PIN. So, he got this office Coke pa at the time.
I was working at
Coca-Cola.
yeah, coaching coach.
We saw the office of Coca-Cola there in London.
London.
So, tinawagan niya to help us out. So, yun, natuloy na. Anyway, so yun. So, I took the trade test and went back na to Manila. And they said, when they called, oh, your wife is, they spoke to Chot and said, your wife is a very good hairdresser. So, she needs to train for 9 weeks in London. Ako, what? Very good hairdresser na yun, 9 weeks pa. Parang at that time, my children were still very young. Parang it's the first time I'm going to leave them and Chot for that,
Period.
yeah, for that period. So, anyway, tried to set it up na. And, yun. This is sort of, at the time, they gave me pala essentials. Not yet a Toni&Guy salon.
Essentials by
Yeah.
Toni&Guy was the
Because
brand.
if you are a Toni&Guy salon, 6 months yung training. To be a Toni&Guy salon, 6 months. Sabi ko, sobra ng tagal ng 6 months. So I started as an essential salon for maybe 10 years.
The first 10 years.
Yeah.
So let's pause there first because there's some real lessons there already. And then I think the first thing is the willingness to pivot. Because like Cherry said, she started the salon with another brand, but quickly found out that it was not in the location where that had the right market for the offering that we had. And so we made a very quick decision to pivot right away, and we found David's Salon, which was more affordable, which was more fit to the market of the student market of where we were located, which was near the school, near Ateneo. So I think that was one. I think the second lesson is just to, when you see an opportunity, to go for it. I remember we were thinking about ano karapatan natin.
No, we had a discussion because Toni&Guy
is such a worldwide global brand.
Yeah, a global brand. And I said, we might not be able to afford it, the franchise fee. And Chot said, basta kunin mo, ako na bahala maghanap ng
Funds.
capital
Yeah,
or
capital.
whatever. So yun yung sinabi na asawa ko.
So that's the second lesson is if you see an opportunity, you want it, go for it. It doesn't matter how big or how intimidating the brand may be. You'll never know. And like I always want to say, what's the worst thing that can happen? They say no. So that's the second thing. She saw an opportunity, went for it. And then I think the third is be willing to pay the price, whatever it takes. Pay the price in pesos or dollars or pounds, whatever the franchise fee is, and also pay the price in training.
Yeah.
For a young mother, 9 weeks away in, what was that? The first 2-3 days from your arrival in UK?
The third day of training, actually.
So we went first to UK for the interview and trade test. After that, the trade test, we came back home. And
Ako na lang yung pumunta.
Then she was asked to return. Siya na lang mag-isa. Wala na
I
ako.
remember that was, I think, in September.
Yeah, for her 9-week training. On day 3, she called me literally crying because of loneliness, homesickness. Gusto na niyang umuwi. She wanted to go home already. And also how difficult the training was, right?
How difficult the training was. And I considered myself an educator also in the Philippines. So when I went to London, sabi ko, kayang-kaya ko to. Kasi tuturo na ako eh. And yet, talagang umiiyak ako. First of all, the British, they're very straightforward. Hindi nila i-sugarcoat, mali ka, mali ka. Hindi nila i-sugarcoat na very, di ba, tayo kasi parang pag, try to say it nicely. Hindi, ito. Tapos yung mga models mo rin na mga British, ang susungit talaga nila. And, tatanong sa'yo, do you know what you're doing? Gaganon, titingin pa sa akin, do you know what you're doing? Gaganunin ako. So, talaga, tense ka na, iniisip mo na yung technique na ginagawa mo, tapos, na-intimidate ka pa sa
Imagine this.
sa models mo.
She was one of the country's top hairdressers. In fact, she was already an educator and trainer. For her to be made to feel like a rookie, like a novice, as if she didn't know what she was doing. That's what I mean by the willingness to pay the price. And what we've learned about business, the price is not only measured in dollars and cents, but also the others. So being away from your family, going back to square one, starting again like a novice or a neophyte, a newbie. I think these are the early lessons that we could learn from the experience. So now we are surprised it was awarded to us.
Yeah.
And when you have a good product and you have a good idea, I think it's pretty easy to raise the funds, to raise the capital. We raised it from friends and family, some of our savings, a little bit, but some friends and family. We raised the capital and we started the business. And so the first 10 years, Essentials by Toni&Guy, after year 10 or 11, we made two
We
pivots.
converted
Yeah.
it to Toni&Guy.
She decided it was time because we had 10 years already to convert it to the Toni&Guy Salon. And then from there, what did it feel like and how was the business?
Of course, And then after converting it, we got the master franchise
Yes.
of Toni&Guy.
But that did not come without challenges and difficulties. Talk to us about the early challenges where we had an irate, high-profile customer. Remember, very early in the life of 6750, and then we had that problem with our accountant or bookkeeper.
yeah, so many.
So when you see it
Yeah.
from the surface, it looks like smooth going, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You have problems. Hindi naman problems, pero the experience in client complaints, staff problems. Meron din yung mga staff na may mga relationships with
Within
each other, na tapos yung asawa, susugurin. Or, things like that. And then also accounting problems, birth pains actually. So when we converted to Toni&Guy, I think we were already ready. All that happened in Essentials. So because also we tried to run it professionally. It's not because yung ngayon salons, dati kasi yung tawag sa'yo parlor, it was considered like a mom and pop. Business, hobby, gano'n ng mga ibang salon owners pag nagtayo ka ng salon. I have investors in this business, so it's not just me. I'm answerable to the board, to my investors. That's why we have to run it professionally. So we have board meetings. We have our financial statement at P&L. Ngayon ko lang nalalaman yun. Dati matik pa lang yung mga P&L at financial statements at mga ganyan. And, so yun. And so now our back office is very, how do you call that?
There's good systems,
Efficient.
systematized and efficient. Yeah.
I experienced working for my aunt, na sila lang, kami lang, running the salon. And I also experienced, being a franchisee. And I saw pag-franchise kasi the support. So I am a franchisee of London and you have a support kasi. Especially in Toni&Guy, the support in training. When we were also in David's, since I'm an educator also in David's at the time. So that is the support of David's to their franchisee. So same thing with Toni&Guy. That kind of support was given to us. Anything you need, to back office, how to run the business, and also the most importantly is the education. Because if you're on your own, you'll just get stuck up there. Eh. While getting a franchise, your education is free. Of course, we pay for our, plane fare, board and lodging.
Yeah.
But you can work on that. You can ask for
Sponsorship.
sponsorship. And so yun. So you get inspired, and the brand the brand is already there. It's not the salon business kasi pag wala kang name, you have to start from the bottom, create your regular clients, everything. While a franchise, if you have already the brand of Toni&Guy, immediately they will trust your brand. They know what kind of education you're getting from the Toni&Guy salon. So and I'm very, very proud of that because almost all of my stylists are trained in London. When they go back here in the Philippines, pati outfit, pati ganyan, iba na, So, nag-iiba lahat.
It is life-changing.
Yeah, for them.
So, again, the early lessons here, the first is the willingness and the ability to pivot. Secondly, the courage to go for something that even no matter how intimidating or kind of out of reach it is, just to go for it. Number three, the willingness to pay the price to be able to get what it is that you want. And then now from what Cherry just mentioned is the importance of systems and support that is crucial to the ongoing operation. So it's no longer now a startup. We've now been in the business for 10, 12 years. Just the continuous support and the continuing education.
Correct.
So you could be new in the business or the industry. You could be a few years in. But I think never forget the importance of continuously working on your craft. Because in the end, that is a competitive advantage. You have to have something new to offer and in Cherry's words, something fresh to offer to the clients whom you serve. So things were going well. We finally started franchising ourselves, right?
Yes.
When we thought that our backroom systems and our support systems were in place, now from just having 3 company-owned salons, we started franchising because it was a means that we thought was going to help us in the expansion, the business expansion, and the growth.
The beauty of franchising is the kind of support that you're going to get. Aside from the brand name, that's the kind of support that we get from Toni&Guy London, and we pass it on to our franchisees, the same kind of support. Actually, before we got into the business of franchising, we've been in the business for almost more than 10 years. So alam na namin yung what works and what doesn't work.
So
I was also a franchisee, so I know what I want. I know what kind of support I want from my franchisor.
So are you saying that you're open to franchising in case there are any?
Actually, if you want to have a salon business, I'm inviting you to join us, to join the team, the Toni&Guy team, because you get that kind of support, the educational support, not only local support but also international support. And you cannot get that when you can get it, but you have to pay. You have to pay, so much to be able to invite, an international educator, but when you're part of this, the like Toni&Guy, the system, you get that kind of support, the educational support for free. So, and also the backroom support, it's part of the package.
And then COVID hits.
Yeah.
Talk to us about how we almost closed shop during the lockdown.
So, good thing we're not a mom and pop salon. Good thing how do you call that?
Our fiscal discipline.
Yeah.
We were very
Our finances
we were very healthy financially. Yeah.
Something like that. So, when COVID, came, mayabang kami kasi kala ko 1 month lang yung magsasara ng salon. So, we paid our
Employees.
full
Full.
for the first month. And then, biglang, oops, hindi mo bubukas. So, the
1
second month,
Well, first half a month became 1 month, and then now it's 2 months already.
Yeah. So, oops, nagdidwindle na.
You mean our funds? Our funds
are dwindling. So, naging half month na. And kasi naman, may help naman from the government. So, they were able to get by. And then,
So
medyo tumatagal na.
Yeah, in month 2, we still did not let go of anyone.
Yeah.
But we could only pay half a month salary. But luckily, there was government subsidy, right? The government was able to augment.
Yes.
And then it still went on beyond.
Yeah. So again, going back to franchising, the good thing, the kind of support of London, of Toni&Guy is the online thing. So we had our online meetings already. So even before lumabas yung protocols ng government, I knew already what we're going to do because franchisee of Toni&Guy in China, alam na nila. Tinanong na namin. Kasi sila ang first hit eh. So, what did they do? Anong ginawa ng government sa kanila? So, more or less, I already had an idea what to do.
So we came up with the Toni&Guy gold standard in safety.
Yes.
Yes.
London sent it to us, ganyan. To think I was the one, DTI, I think, was the one who...
DTI actually came to our salons to take a look at the safety precautions.
Yeah, safety precautions.
That were in place, yes. Before allowing salons to operate.
Yeah, and naman that the salon was the last to open. So, yun, again, we have to think fast, what to do.
And now, you spend most of your time where? In the business? Not so much anymore on the cutting floor, but...
on training and the business side of it. So, focus on training and, with my grandchildren now, trying to take it slow because the system is already there. Okay.
But you still have your weekly meetings.
Yeah, our
you're
weekly
still overseeing
meetings,
operations.
I have my GM there who can take care of the business. But I'm still very much involved in the business side. So yun.
How was it like running this business, which is a global brand, and still being wife, mother, because we raised our kids through all these past 22 years, and now grandmother, and being married to someone whose job is very volatile and subject to a lot of, as you know, online hatred and all of that. And plus the fact that there's no security of tenure in my line of work. What is your approach and your thinking around that?
So, this business came about is precisely because the work of my husband is very unstable. If you lose, you get fired. Pag champion, okay.
So what advice can you give to couples who are either both of them are trying to put up their own business, or they're in different fields, but they are, they want to be successful in having their own.
I really, because in our situation, you have your own thing, and I have my own thing. So, hindi tayo nagka-clash because I'm doing my thing and you're doing your own thing, and then minsan lang na tayo,
But I think
pag
that
kailangan ko ng tulong or tutulong siya and something like that.
in Toni&Guy, she's the founding managing partner, and I'm the chairman of the board. And so my job is mostly advisory and support. But as a basketball coach and professional executive and business coach, I'm the CEO and founding CEO of what I do. And her job is to support, because there are a lot of times when I need her support as well. And the support is not financial or anything concrete or material. It's really the emotional support, the patience, the understanding.
Yeah. Basta during your games, I'm there. I make sure that I'm there watching. Maski sobrang na sila tinatambakan or maski sobrang ganyan, I'm there to watch, to support my husband. So,
In the end, you are still first and foremost a wife.
yeah.
So is that an advice that you want to
For
impart
couples.
to couples?
I don't know.
Or not even couples, just business women. As a
I don't know,
successful
I'm-
businesswoman, should you first and foremost?
Kasi ang daming na they're a mother first, then a wife. Ako, baliktad. I'm a wife first, then a mother,
And then a businesswoman.
and then a businesswoman. Yun yung ko. Because, you have to nurture your relationship. Kailangan maayos kayong dalawa eh.
Yep.
To be able to raise good children also. To be good parents also. Something like that.
And I know this is
So-
not a parenting podcast, but we really believe that the way to teach our children about love is to show them how much you love each other. The way to teach them about respect is to show them how much you respect each other. And I think we're not perfect by any
Yeah.
means, but I think we try hard to maintain that and show that. And again, this is not a relationship or a marriage podcast, but business is life.
Yeah.
I think that's what we've learned, right? It's very hard to say, especially if you're an entrepreneur or a businesswoman. It's really, in fact, we don't even believe in work-life balance. For us, it's work-life integration. Really finding ways to integrate our work into our lives. And Coach Com is 22 years. Toni&Guy is going on year 22. So far, I think there are some lessons there.
Yeah.
So this is also a show about adversity. If there is any lesson or advice that you can impart to our audience in how to deal with adversity, or what you have learned through all the adversities that you have gone through in your life as a businesswoman, wife, and a mother. What is that now? Number one thing. Take your time. Anyway,
Number
this is-
one, I
we
don't
can
know. I
edit
pray
this.
first. I pray.
Okay. That's valid. Number one.
Yeah.
Your faith. Yeah.
And the support system of family, of friends, and
How did you develop your resilience muscles?
maybe because, I was very young.
Yun.
I was at the time,
Correct.
the struggles of
Of
getting
a
pregnant
young mother,
early.
yes.
Hindi naman ako throw out. Hindi naman ako talagang, pero pinahirapan ako ng parents ko. So, to be on my own, to raise a child on my own, walang yaya, all through that, all the experience maybe
Made you stronger.
Yeah, made me
And
stronger.
that's how your resilience muscles were developed.
Yeah. Moving out of the house, renting an apartment, and sasabihin ni Chair, maski anong calculation ginagawa ko, negative tayo. Parang ganun. Negative tayo, ganyan. Pero we got by. God will provide. I believe in that. God will provide. Pero of course rin naman with your own, hindi naman yung upo ka lang doon and God will provide.
with your effort. So, how Cherry Reyes was able to deal with adversity in her lives and the lessons that she can impart. Number one, through prayer and faith.
Yes.
Number two, by developing a strong support system around her. And number three, by whether by chance or by intention, developing her resilience muscles by going through some real difficulties and hardships in life very early on. And she had developed it in such a way that when some real crisis hit the business, she was prepared. She made the right decisions, the right pivots. And I think most importantly, you did not panic.
Yeah.
Because that's the worst thing that can happen when crisis hits. If you panic, the ability to keep your head when everyone else around you is losing theirs, that's very important in handling adversity. And speaking of adversity, one very real adversity that we had to go through is the bashing, the online hatred and vitriol that I received, and also you and the kids received during my stint as a national team coach. Did you want to speak to that?
Eto na. So they always, reading all those hatred, those comments. Pinakamahirap is, of course, I get affected. Basta sabi nila na hindi affected yung family. I'm not going to deny na, na hindi kami affected, na okay lang, hindi okay. Pinakamahirap is gustong-gusto ko mag-comment at sumagot. Pero, you want to take that high road and sasabihin nila, wag mong patulan. Kasi pag papatulan mo, mas lalong,
Yun ang gusto nila.
yun ang gusto nila. So, yun ang pinakamahirap sa akin. To shut up. And you know me na, palaban din ako eh. Makikipag-away ako, especially pag family mo yung dehado or something like that. Talagang makikipag-away ako. Sa basketball games nga, kung sigawan ko yung referees at yung mga ibang the opponents, ganyan. So that's the hardest actually, is being able, parang gusto ko sabihin, hindi nyo talaga naiintindihan. Gusto ko sabihin.
So what's your advice if there are people who are undergoing the same thing? You know how prevalent social
Wala akong
media-
masabi. Hindi ko masabi. I just want na
Your advice is
say na
do not engage. Wag mo patulan.
Yeah, do
That's
not
the first
engage.
thing.
And I really hope that it doesn't happen to you. Kasi, hindi ka, you also don't know when you go out, parang hater ba to o hindi. Yung ganun iniisip mo sa mga tao na yung nakakasalubong mo, or hindi mo malaman kung kinakamayan si Chot na is it sincere? Kasi, after the game, ang dami naman din nag-congratulate, kumamay kay Chot, showing their support kay Chot in spite of, ganyan. So, naisip ko rin, those people I really, really appreciate. I mean, yun yung mga, where we get our strength. From those people who approach us, who shake our hands, who, congratulations pa rin kay Chot, we appreciate your hardship, your
Effort.
And so yun talaga. So mukha lang masungit yung asawa ko, pero when you approach him, it really, it makes a difference. So parang inisip namin, kukunti lang pala yung haters na yun, maingay lang pala baka iilan lang yung mga yun eh. Okay, maingay lang sila sa social media. But what really matters is people when we go out, wala naman nagbabato sa amin or, anything, or binubu kami or what. And, the positive reactions was, you know,
Far outweighs the negative.
yes. You said it.
So,
Said it.
how to handle it? Number one, take the high road. Do not engage. Number two, appreciate. Appreciate. Look at the. For me, it's always count your blessings. Uh, the fact that we're here, we're doing something significant and important. We may not be successful, but we'd rather be doing it because that is the essence of the title of our podcast, The Man in the Arena, right?
And I just want to say also that I forgot. You cannot explain the feeling. You're in the Coliseum and your husband is being booed. And I hope maintindihan ng mga tao na, tao rin naman kami nasasaktan pero titiisin mo lahat yun Pero, kung pwede lang, hindi ako manood. Pero you have to be there to show your support. Para feeling ko, kayo na, the family na lang is, yun na lang yung kakampi ng asawa mo. And then, you're going to sit there and then the crowd will boo you. Pati alam ko naman na yung iba nadadamay lang na kala nila nakakatawa yung ginagawa nila pero hindi. Hindi nakakatawa yung nakikisali ka lang, nakikibuka lang. So, yun lang gusto ko sabihin. Just sitting there, titiisin mo lahat yun. And your children also witnessing that. You don't know the hardship during preparing for the Worlds or, coaching the Philippine team. Halos hindi na kami nagkikita. Halos hindi na kami nagkikita ni Chot kasi most of the time either they're training, twice a day yung training. So morning yung training niya sa ayan, tumutulo yung luha ko. Morning yung training niya sa TNT, tapos meron pang training ng Gilas, tapos magka-quarter sila or nasa abroad sila training, and you have to take everything na ikaw lang, you're alone there, taking care of the family. Tapos nakikita mo pag uwi pa ni Chot, minsan hindi mo pa ma-istorbo kasi aaralin pa niya or yung practices, aayusin pa niya yung practices or manonood pa siya ng games or magsa-scout pa siya ng mga games. So, yun lang. It's not that easy na you see your husband doing everything, very dedicated. It's not for the money. This is not for the money. This is for the country that he's doing.
Service.
And then, ibubuka ng countrymen mo. Hindi ba medyo kakaiyak yun? So, yun lang.
On that note, I cannot think of a better way to end the podcast. And now you know why I had to take a lot of effort to convince none other than my wife to be our very first guest in episode 1 of season 2 of the Coaching Chronicles. So maraming salamat for sticking around and being with us in Coaching Chronicles, the men and women in the arena.